The moon in Virgo expresses the presence of functional order, in which each aspect or element of reality is systemically integrated with the others. Hence, the development and well-being of each part is achieved by maximizing the well-being of the system as a whole, service. In the case of the moon, the body of the child born with this quality finds its comfort and security in the presence of order and a certain restriction of movements, which aims to channel its activity in function of the whole. Any spontaneous and immediate response to external stimuli will be experienced as dangerous, since it could lead to overflow and eventually chaos. A meticulous emphasis on details and a critical attitude towards the world constitutes its basic attitude, since both behaviors allow delaying and elaborating on the potentially threatening impacts of the outside, with its feared disorder. This body is born wrapped in a quality that not only retains spontaneity in the face of any possible excess, but also inhibits attitudes tending to create an exclusive personal space. These are replaced by behaviors associated with sharing spaces and tasks with others, where being useful is much more important than expressing oneself, asking, taking, or fighting to obtain something. That is, in the moon in Virgo, what is effectivized is the exact opposite of a naive, spontaneous, and exploratory behavior, which tests, makes mistakes, and needs physical or emotional discharges from time to time. The child will feel that only behaviors indicating maturity will be rewarded with affection, and this is precisely what is not characteristic of the childish world. In this sense, the moon in Virgo tensions the entire natal chart in a very particular way, opening two possible paths for the person. Either they completely fulfill this hyper-matured program, inhibiting their spontaneity, which sooner or later will surely appear sick, most likely dissociated, or the lunar demand is placed entirely on the maternal figure, polarizing other areas of the chart that need to transgress this pattern of hypermaturity. In the second case, rebellion and disorder will be ways to compensate for and evade this inhibitory affective matrix, but leaving an inevitable sense of loss of affection for not doing the right thing. Much later in life, it will be this terrible and generally unconscious fear of chaos that leads the person to paradoxical situations. The vicious circle, for them, consists of dedicating themselves to ordering everything in order to escape the constant threat of disorder, but doing so in a basically childish and immature way, which pursues an effective reward in exchange for it. Thus, in this defensive order, it is impossible to encompass the real problem of what is happening, and the situations in which, on the other hand, the repressed will act invisibly, eventually disrupting the order that was intended to be built. That what is valued as wisdom and intelligence reveals itself as a basically immature and regressive response to the challenges of reality is often a painful surprise, difficult to accept for people in whom this mechanism has been installed. The moon in Virgo in consciousness manifests here as a computer screen on which signals and data constantly appear, attempting to account for the smallest details about the perfect functioning of a system. Any deviation must be immediately corrected and all disorder resolved. The moon in Virgo should always know everything. The knowing everything of the latter refers to possessing all possible information and making quick and brilliant mental associations with it, but in no way do these require validation and practice. In the moon in Virgo, on the other hand, an intelligence that is slower but must always give sensible answers about reality is effectivized. There is a need for sanity, balance, and reflective maturity, which should be able to anticipate problems. Therefore, problems, and the appropriate responses to solve them, should be known in advance. This is the meaning of knowing everything. Every lunar mechanism makes us act like children who cover their eyes and believe that no one sees them. The dependence on the sense of security provided by the lunar pattern makes us dramatically cut back on reality in order to generate that feeling. Just as the moon in Gemini enjoys the illusion that understanding a situation guarantees that its unpleasant consequences will not manifest, you will see a moon in Virgo ordering closets, correcting errors in a written text, working on small objects for hours, or performing all kinds of rituals. This creates in them the feeling that nothing bad can happen to them, as long as they do it with meticulousness and concentration, and even with true talent and dedication to others. It is this diminishing of the field in which the lunar ordering talent can be deployed